Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to be looking at Dogecoin's next move as well as Bitcoin and ETH. We'll take a look at those as well. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out as well as when I do live streams. And we are recovering from yesterday's big move up, and the market hasn't decided yet where it's going to go from here. We all know that Trump put out that tweet or truth yesterday morning in order to get the markets to stop from crashing. Whether there was still truth behind that or not, and whether the US is actually negotiating with Iran or not, is still unclear 24 hours later. But the markets haven't totally tanked back down yet, but they haven't continued to move up either, so there's indecision in the market. Dogecoin is at 9.4 cents. Bitcoin is hugging $71,000. That's where we are, where we start. This is the 100 bar moving average here on a 1 hour chart. And so this is kind of a key line here, an indicator, which we'll be watching as we look between different cryptos and where they stand from this blue line. Most are above the line. Some, like Algorand and other alts, are weaker and are dipping back below that line, as alts typically do. So there's weakness in alts. Doge holding up well, along with Bitcoin and ETH as we start. We look at overall Bitcoin now in another ranging market. And as we've shown on the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin spends more time in a bear market actually going up, upward. We showed an upward channel on the live stream yesterday. Make sure to join my next live stream on Wednesday, where we will be following up on a lot of these theories and watching again what the next move is going to be. But we see these white areas where pretty much Bitcoin was ranging but moving up with higher lows and higher highs. And again, after a pretty quick reversal, then and now seeing again higher lows and higher highs. So while within that range that spreads out, we have the RSI moving up as well, but then we see these very sharp downward movements in the RSI following sharp movements down in the price. And so we're wondering, are we going to range back up to about 74K and then have another sudden drop? Again, those drops are actually news-based, not based just on charts and technical analysis. And what is that next news thing going to be? A downward catalyst in a bear market is typically what we would see, and this is setting up for that. Gel also said, look, the plan remains clear. He's expecting lower, but ready to adapt if the market proves me wrong. Investing is not about predicting what happens next. You play the hand you're dealt and build a plan to make money regardless of what happens. So he is predicting, as we get into June, a buy zone here below 59K. And that's kind of what I am expecting too as the next move. Again, you clearly see on the Bitcoin chart, we see these red candles down. We see range upward in a channel, red candles down, and now ranging again upwards. And this would be the next move. If we follow previous bear markets, and we look back here at 2022, and we saw the same thing, successive moves down with upward ranges happening, higher lows, higher highs, before dropping again. So will we have this one last capitulation or downward move? That is still the question. As we look at liquidity, this upward move that we had swept out a lot of shorts. Big short leverage trades get wiped out. We have new long leverage trades coming in, and that is the target here. This target around 68K would be the next sweep of liquidity on the low side if the market makers say, we want to take that out. And of course, that would be a negative news item that would come out, and then we would see the big selling by Binance, Wintermute, all of those that suppress the price, bring it down, and sweep out long leveraged trades. That is the pattern we've seen. Now there's some big shorts up here at 75K. It's a lot harder for the market makers to get the price up higher to take out those big shorts. And I think that will be the target down lower. Meanwhile, Tom Lee says crypto is in the final stages of a mini crypto winter. So he's finally admitting we're in a bear market, but he's saying it's a mini one, or he's keeping it very short, thinking that the prices are just going to take off. But the ETH chart shows something different. Now, Trader Allen looks at this like head and shoulders pattern with a false break move up. Are we going to see another one higher, or is this going to capitulate lower? Allen calls that dip there a fake out and then a move higher, but typically what we see is these things just move up and down sideways from here, and we don't see that full big breakout. That would be a bull market move that we would typically see, and here in 2026 we are not in a bull market. And as we saw, like the Algorand chart, many other alts that we see are near all-time lows. That's right, more than 38% of all altcoins are now trading near their all-time lows. Most alts are not holding up well. Dogecoin is holding up, ETH is holding up fairly well, and I know someone will say, oh, Chris, it's down 84% from all-time high. Well, everything is down from all-time high. All alts, and Bitcoin isn't down as much, but many others are in that 70, 80, and most even in the 90, 95, 98% range down. So that's the market. That's what we have. So instead of complaining about it, what are you going to do about it? That's the question. What are you going to do about it? Well, many traders are buying the Dogecoin dip. They're not waiting. They're accumulating. 8.9 cents is what we had yesterday morning. Will we see that 8-cent Doge again? So this big move came as Doge price dropped below 9 cents. So that 9-cent level appears to be a key level for Dogecoin. And as the price drops below, we see buying and accumulation happening. Will Dogecoin get back to that 8-cent level that we saw when, back in February when we saw that move? Right there, right around February 5th, we saw that move down to 8 cents. Will Dogecoin get to that level again and maybe touch the 7s? That is unknown. So many are just picking up Dogecoin on the dip below 8 cents. We do see how Doge trades, though, and this, of course, is a swing trading dream. We show these successive upward green lines as Dogecoin spikes up in price and then capitulates down again and again and again and again and again. And then even at the lower price here, what we saw yesterday was another one of these green lines. So will Dogecoin drift back and hit the base again, back down here at 9 cents and dip below before another big green line comes up? Most likely, we will see that kind of thing happening. Overall, Dogecoin, the weekly chart, shows a clear descending resistance with multiple rejections at lower highs. So this is the big triangle that we have, and we see price now approaching the major horizontal support floor. And that support floor right now is 9 cents. That goes all the way back to 2024 when we were dipping at the 9s before the big move up. Of course, this was bull market. We're now in bear market, and we'll see whether that kind of move does happen. Trader Allen, of course, he is always bullish, and he says on this upward sloping support line that goes all the way back 2 cycles, that the next move would be this big fire move up, which comes, of course, on this chart, which is a logarithmic chart. That kind of move comes up to like $8, $10 or something like that. That's not going to happen anytime soon, unfortunately for Allen, but it makes for a nice little video. He's making these little videos now instead of static charts. But I just present the news as to what I see. Of course, I'm looking at the cycles, and I say we are in cycle 4 of Dogecoin, and I show this in more detail. We go over this again in our live streams. Again, the next one is going to be on Wednesday, so please join in. I think we did have the yellow box up that happened November, December 2024. Did not come up the same percentage we saw in previous bull cycles, where we see that final big explosion after numerous smaller moves up during a bull market, or from the bear into the bull. And then we have the big move. What's that next big move going to be? We don't know, but that's why we accumulate at the lower end of the wedge to wait and make sure that we have accumulated Doge for the next move up. Dogecoin targets resistance, bull's eye potential upside move. That is where we are. What is that next move going to be? The price does aim higher, and we look at this chart, and here it is. In red, they have the 100 moving average. They have a downward sloping resistance line that Doge broke through on yesterday, came back, retested to move higher. That would be a classic move. I think we're just going to kind of go sideways from here, is what my outlook is for now. Will there be another decline in Doge? That's what we're waiting to see here in the overall bear market. Could we see if there's a downside break below the 9-cent support? Again, that has dips down to 8.9, 8.95. The price could decline further. In the stated case, the price might slide toward 8.8 or down to 8.65 in the near term. So those are numbers we will watch if we see a downward move in Doge. For now, Doge is in decision time. We're looking at this big, giant symmetrical triangle here that Doge has been trading in, going all the way back to, this would be January 2026, up at 15.5 cents, down to the low of 8 cents. And we'll see what that next move is. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Dogecoin's next move yourself? What are you doing to prepare for it? Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.